Hello, friends. It's Friday. You know what that means. It is time for Margaritas with Marguerita Cheng, CFP Pro, where for 15 minutes or so, every Friday at happy hour, 5 p.m. Eastern, we start the weekend off right by learning from financial industry experts how to flex our financial muscles, men and women, of course. We know you're going to love tonight's guest. Dominique is the creator of the Jumpstart Coaching Lab, who will talk with Rita about how you can learn to be a financial professional just like them and what inspired him to start his exciting, energized organization, Jumpstart. So take it away, Miss Rita.
Well, thank you so much, Hope. And Dominique, thank you so much for being here with us. So let's just get to
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. I had to return the favor, my friend, right?
Absolutely. So I know you've had an amazing day there in Dallas, Texas, playing golf with your friends.
Yes.
Um, so tell us, of course, we want to know more about the fact that you are two-time founder of the two amazing organizations that you founded. But before we get to that, I think it'd be helpful for listeners and viewers to learn more about your journey as a CFP Pro.
Yeah. So let's do the short version because we're here for 15 minutes. So I graduated with a finance degree from Prairie View A&M University back in 98. Immediately started working for a hedge fund. Did that from 98 until 2006, which was really my foray into financial services. Got to see a lot, learned a lot, met really great people. At the end of the day, though, the transition from back office operations to front office operations or front office is what was not really a thing for me. So I left and I started doing real estate for a little while. Timing was everything because I was right around the crisis. So that didn't last as long. But I ended up getting with a kind of like a broker dealer that was front facing insurance, but back, did the securities and stuff. And there's been a lot of these type of relationships. But anyways, I stayed there for about 2 years, and that's where I learned that I really liked the financial planning side, the one-on-one with clients. Got my 7 and my 66 and my life and health and all that kind of stuff. And then the broker dealer went defunct. So that happens. And I ended up finding myself with a bigger RIA here in the Dallas area and stayed there for 6 years, learned a lot more, served a lot of families. And about year 15-ish in the industry, I decided, you know what? I can probably do this on my own. And I got my graduate degree in finance, got my CFP at that point in time, and I launched DJH Capital Management in August of 2016. And so that's my CFP journey. Well,
So DJH Capital is 5 years old, and then you launched the Jumpstart Coaching Lab. So tell us about the Jumpstart Coaching Lab.
yeah, so there was interesting. So there's two ideas behind this. The first is something I heard from, I think Tyler Perry said this at an awards show. He's like, when you become successful, your job is to hold the door open for others. And that resonated with me. And the first thing I thought was, there's no way that even if I built the biggest gargantuan wealth management firm, that I'm going to serve everybody that needs help. And since I did look at myself as finite from that standpoint, I was like, well, how could I give back in a way that allows for more people to get into this industry so more people could get the benefit of financial advice? And at that point in time, I was doing all kinds of marketing things for DJ's Capital Management. I hired a coach. Long story short, between my coach who gave me the idea of, well, actually, it was my wife first. My wife said, hey, you're trying to get people to trust you with their money, but you're not showing your face. Because at the point in time, I was doing a lot of, kind of audio podcasting and blogging and stuff and no video. And I was like, this is the reason why I married you, because you're smarter than me. We hired a video coach. The video coach then said, hey, Dom, why don't you show a day in the life of a financial advisor? And I was like, you don't get how this works. Nobody in wealth management really cares about what I do. And I was right, but I was wrong that people did not want to see what was, behind the scenes, if you will, what day in the life of a financial advisor. And that is actually how Jumpstart started. Is I just started getting DMs and all this emails and stuff from the YouTube channel, and I formed a community from that. And it's been great. It's been kind of one of those passion projects of mine that has turned into so much more.
Well, thank you for that. And I know about your YouTube channel, and I know that you get lots of messages from people that ask you questions, and you're like, Clearly, you didn't watch my channel because I answer that question in a video.
That part, right?
Right, exactly. You missed that part. So Jumpstart believes in mentorship, networking, and coaching. They're all important. So why do you bring them all together? And what do you feel is most special about your community?
Well, I think the first thing I noticed when I went into this venture, because I don't do things lightly. I'm a big planner, even by vocation and by nature. Uh, I was looking at what our industry offers, Marguerite, and I was like for the person trying to get into this, like what path do they go down? Like how do they answer certain questions about who to work for, or what type of licenses to get, or what type of education to get, or if they're a career changer, can they do this? Do they need to go back to school? Like none of those resources was really around in a what I would call in a succinct format to kind of help people digest where they should go in their journey. And so I think that Jumpstart provides that as a platform for people in a very safe environment, right? Because most career changers that I talk to, they're a long way off, right? They're working a job, they've got benefits, they've may got spouse or kids, whatever, family, and it's going to be a long road. So they need support along the way. They need a community of like-minded people that could kind of get in the trenches with them as they roll up their sleeves and as they're investing in themselves over this period of time, whether they decide to do CFP or something else. So I think it's all around beneficial for individuals to have that type of community. It just makes the journey a little.
Well, thank you for that. I know that you and I have had conversations about this, that in your opinion, there's a lots of ways in which people can enter our profession, but there's also opportunities to make it better for people in the profession as well as the clients. So with that in mind, can you tell us about real financial advice, what it means and why it's so important?
Yeah, this is the acronym that I guess I gotta be careful to where I use it because I may want to trademark it. But so real financial advice to me, real is it stands for relatable, empathetic, attentive, and listening, right? Because I think most people that come to me or even to you, Margarita, they're not lacking information, right? There's so much information in 2021 out there. Uh, I don't claim to know it all, but I think the people that work with me on the wealth management side, what they have realized is that they have limited time and money that they need to spread across unlimited choices. To me, that's what real financial planning is. And so I come along as an advisor to help them through that, right? They're usually really good at something else. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made money. They wouldn't have gotten to this point. And they need to leverage that expertise in their zone of genius or zone of excellence while they have a trusted partner to help them through the parts of their life that money intersects, various and many. And so that's where I think financial planning is going. It's getting much more away from what we were probably brought into the industry to believe, or a lot of people, as Carl Richards says, the financial pornography network shows people about investment management and assets under management. All this that's all great and fine, but at the end of the day, people are wanting time and or money, right? And how can we deliver that as professionals in a way that gives them transformation? Because that's what they're looking
Absolutely. I mean, I've told people personal finance is well personal. And sometimes that personal is the hardest part. We're part marriage counselor, part coach,
for. You're right.
cheerleader, many things to many people. In the people that partner with Jumpstart Coaching Lab, have you found any surprises? Meaning people who think maybe they wanted to be a planner, they're like, oh, I didn't know that we have to have these conversations. This may not be for me. Have you come across that? And how have you helped people deal with that?
Yeah, I think I get a lot of those questions. I actually, some of the stuff that's the most surprising to me is people that have, I'll just call it a preconceived notion about what we do. I often say this that, even in 2021, take 10 people off the street asking what a financial advisor does, you probably get 10 different answers. And so there's just no different when people come to Jumpstart. They have, some ideas about what this is like. And just giving them my perspective and hearing the perspective of others, they learn that, there's a whole continuum of financial care and advice that can be given, whether it's financial therapy, counseling, education, planning, obviously, coaching. There's so many avenues out there, and helping people see that there are more than just the, sitting behind the mahogany desk in a suit and tie, giving financial advice or showing people, performance, their performance versus the Dow or the S&P. I mean, it sounds pretty boring. I don't even want to do this. So, I think showing people all those different facets of it, because there's a group coaching model, there's courses that you can do, you can write books. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can impact people's lives when we're talking about changing family trees with financial advice. I think the sky's the limit, and I'm hoping to see a lot more of that in the future.
No, thank you for that. And Dom, you inspired me. I've been doing a lot of traveling lately, and I feel that maybe I just want to go on a train platform or stand on the street and ask people, do you know what a financial planner will do? But I'm worried people will ignore me or think I'm crazy. But maybe
I bet you
since
would
I
get
found
some
this
really strange
challenge,
answers. Maybe you don't get 10 different answers, but I bet you get at least 5 different answers.
and what do you think some of those answers would be?
Oh, I know you're going to hear somebody that sells life insurance, somebody that sells stocks, helps you trade in the market. I know you're going to get all that. You might actually get what, like most of us spend our time doing, with helping people through difficult decisions. I'll throw this in here. So, McKinsey did a study about burnout, specifically across the demographic of women and people of color, women of color. And the article resonated with me. I just thought it was a very thoughtful, written piece, and I sent it to my client base, my female client base, and I almost had 100% open rate. Like, so, this is a nerve that was actually struck, because obviously my female clients, my women clients, are dealing with this, and it sparked a lot of conversation. Zero to do with finance, absolutely nothing to do with finance. Just, that's part of the relationship that I think, in the space that we get as financial planners, financial advisors, we get to sit in that seat, which I feel is a privilege, that somebody grants that type of margin uh, to their personal life to me. But it helps deepen the relationship. These are all really great things. I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe it was a question around what would people say about financial advice, what we
Right,
do.
right. No, absolutely. So, yeah, and the fact that you had 100% open rate means that not only did that connect with people, but I'm sure it stimulated some conversation. And you are very passionate about having conversations. Talk to me, if you will, about what you mean when you say everybody should have the opportunity to change their family tree.
Yeah. Well, so this goes beyond just, the current, narrative that we have in our society about the wealth gap and whatnot. Not that those things aren't important, but I just think about, I think there's been plenty of studies that, the happiness index or something like that, like basically past $70,000 or $75,000, you don't get any more happy, right? So there's not always this necessarily specific number that people get to articulate about where they want to be. People throw stuff, grab stuff out there all the time. Where I'm going with this is that I really think that the job of the financial professional is to find what people want, find what the transformation that they're trying to get to, even if they need help articulating it, and help them deliver on it. I mean, you don't even have to do all the work, right? You can just show them the path. It's more about showing them the path. And so that's what I really think. This is where I hope the industry is headed. And there's a lot of advisors like yourself, Margarita, that are doing this type of work that I think is the best for the client. I mean, when you think about it, somebody could say that they want, let's say, $1 million, whatever their number is, and you're got this plan to get them there, and then tomorrow they die. Like, so what was that plan for, right? So what can we do today? What can we articulate and help them envision for today, that they can start to look forward to and even have a better life along the journey, right? Instead of just the retirement 30 years down the road. That's the kind of planning that I hope the industry does more of, and that's at least the type of planning that I'm doing.
No, absolutely. And I think that is the type of planning that resonates, particularly when you look at as not just the clients we want to serve today, but the clients of the future. Well, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So, how can people, I know that you have YouTube videos and channels, but if people wanted to learn more about this special community, I mean, I know they can look at your shirt, but can you
I got
share
branding.
some
Check that
handles with
out.
us?
Check that out. Look at that. So look at this. I have so this is a long time ago, um, I created, like when I first started Jumpstart, it was, you know, common questions. So I created a guide, 10 tips to jumpstart your financial services career. Send an email to hello@jumpstartcoachinglab.com with 10 tips in the subject line, and I'll send it. Basically, the things that I think from a person that's been sitting in this seat for a very long time. Doesn't look like it because I look so young, but this is my 21st year in the industry. So the deal is there's some things that I think you can do first, second, seventh, in this particular case, 10th. Doing those things out of order tend to cost you more time and money than what you want. So I created this to kind of guide people down the path of what I feel is the best steps to start down this path as a career. Maybe you don't know yet, and before you spend a lot of money on, there's a lot of things to spend money on, especially when it comes to becoming a financial advisor. You want to do that in the right order. So if you send an email there, I'll have my team send it out. So there we go.
So, absolutely. So, everyone, if you are listening, send an email to hello@jumpstartcoachinglab.com with 10 tips in the subject line. You want to make sure that you check out Dom's YouTube channel. What is your YouTube channel?
If you just go to youtube.com/the, got to put that definite article in there, the YouTube CFP.
So, youtube.com/the YouTube CFP.
That's me. That's me.
The one and only
So
YouTube
far.
CFP, right?
Yeah, so far I am the
And
one and
then
only.
I guess the website, is it jumpstartcoachinglab.com?
That is it. That is it.
And social media handles.
Dom Henderson. So Dom Henderson is the easiest way to get me. I'll do you one better. We're on video too, right?
Yes, we are. So, folks, you cannot say that you could not find this information because Dom is making it available so that you do not do anything out of order, so you don't waste a lot of time or money. And that
Yeah.
will be Dom Henderson Sr.
Yeah.
So, before we say goodbye to you, do you have any pearls of wisdom or advice that you want to share?
Yes. So I have a framework that I use all the time with my community, and it's just 9 letters, 3 words. It's find your why. Matter of fact, I think I just shared this on social media today again. So find your why. When you're making a career change or you're thinking about this career, think about your future self and what impact you want to leave. If you start there, it's going to be such a great place you end up in. Don't do this for the money. Don't do this for any other those, I would call periphery reasons. Do it for a real, I'm trying to make impact, or I'm trying to affect these type of people, or I want to get back to my community. Whatever your thing is, find out your why. Your why hopefully will then lead you to a who, a mentor, a coach, some type of guide, some type of sponsor that you can look up to. None of us have pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. Even tying our shoes or riding a bike, we learn how to do it from somebody. So find your who, which will inevitably lead you to your how. Then you can kind of just copy them and see, what path they went down. Maybe you like Margarita's path and you're like, okay, how did she do that? Let me see. Maybe I can get into the podcast or the video thing or whatever. So your why, find your why, which will lead you to your who, which will lead you inevitably to your how. That's all I got.
Thank you so much. No, so powerful. I always go back to my why, but now you need to find your who and your how. So
Yeah.
back to you, Hope.
Thank you so much. That's so much fun. Dom, well, maybe we can get some of those 10 tips and post them in the liner notes along with links to all of your stuff. So we'll talk after.
Yeah.
But this is fantastic. And Rita, just always so much fun to have you come and speak and share your wisdom with our audiences. Next week, Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, you will be interviewing Kevin Mahoney. He is the financial advisor for millennials. Tell us a little bit about Kevin.
So Kevin is from the DMV, and he actually is based in DC Metro, very passionate about helping young families plan. He decided to have this focus after he found himself not really being able to locate good, objective, qualified advice. So you want to definitely hear what Kevin has to say.
Excellent. So that's November 19th, 5 p.m. Eastern. Dom, thank you so much for your time. We're going to try and wrangle those tips out of you so that we can help other financial planners find their who, what, why, when, how, and send them to you. Rita, thank you. We'll see you all next week when we interview Kevin. So thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and well.